What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out Hunt, Shoot, Live. Super pumped about today's episode. It is my first review on any product from FN. Now, I've done tons of gun reviews over the years, tons of pistol reviews. Personally, I'm a Glock man historically, but so this is my first interaction with FN at all. So some of you guys watching may know all about FN, but I'll provide you with a little bit of background information from what I've found. So FN stands for Fabrique Nationale. Now, there used to be a longer name to that, but that's the best this Southwest Virginia redneck boy can do. They are a Belgian company that actually used to also produce automobiles, and I think they had a pretty good motorcycle that they produced up until the mid-1900s. They're used by armed forces in 100 different countries, mostly small arms, and I'm not a military weapons guy by any means, but I certainly recognized a lot of the names of some of the FN stuff that the military uses. The M249, the SCAR, the Browning High Power, P90, the FAL, a lot of those I'm sure you guys are familiar with. Those are all FN products. FN has a history of intense interaction with John Browning. That's a name we're definitely all familiar with, and specifically the Browning High Power comes from that. Now, to get to the FN 545 Tactical, which I'm going to be doing a review of today, this is my personal piece. I purchased this for myself. I was in the market for a 45. And the FN 545 Tactical ended up being the one I went with. So far, I'm super pleased with it. I have been doing some reloading, getting ready for it, and today actually will be the most that I've shot it. But FN first came out with their 45 in the FNX version, and that was around 2009 or 2012. I got some conflicting numbers from that. Seems like maybe it became available to military in 2009, or maybe it was just the 9mm version. Either way, to the public, the FNX was definitely available at least by 2012. And that was a hammer fire double single action design. Now, FN came out with the 509 in 2017, which was a striker fire 9mm. Basically, from what I read and from what I see comparing the two, the 545 Tactical is the 45 version of the 509. So you'll notice that FN has this nice easy little numbering system. The 509 is the 9mm, the 510 is the 10mm, and the 545 is your 45 ACP. This year, 2023, they came out with the 510 and the 545 Tactical. The 510, of course, like I said, is in 10mm, and the 545 is in 45 ACP. Now, this is striker fire, double action only. It comes with your California compliant 10-round magazines if you go with that version, or you can get the version with the 15 or the 18-round magazines. You'll see right off, we've got a threaded barrel right here on this Tactical version. Just continuing on with the barrel does have a polished feed ramp. It's 4.71 inches long, cold hammer forged. It's also target crowned. 1 16-inch right hand twist on this thing. Now, this is unloaded. It is 31 ounces, overall length of 8.3 inches, height of 6, and width of 1.45 inches. Now, while I've got you at that view, you'll notice that we've got some really nice tritium lamp steel dovetail sights. Let me see. Oh yeah, you guys can. And I'm just going to tell you, and there's suppressor height, as you can see, of course, so we're threaded, and then we've got suppressor height sights. You've also got the option to mount your optics here, and it comes with 4 different plates, so it should be able to accept pretty much any optic that you want to slap on it. I'm a traditional guy. I like my open sights, and I'm telling you, I love these tritium lamp steel sights. The little wings on the side there, that looks kind of cool too. I guess that's made for the Tactical model. But I love those sights. They really stand out. Really nice. You'll also notice, of course, we've got the rear slide serrations, front slide serrations. And let me just tell you, they really bite into your hand. Polymer lower, it's very lightweight, or with your steel slide. But it's balanced very well. Let me make safe, and I'm going to do some comparisons for you between the couple different pistols that I've got. So, of course, this is our 545 Tactical. And I've got my personal carry weapon, the Glock 43 9mm. So put those two together. Obviously the Glock 43 is a super compact 9mm. See how the FN 545 compares to that. So obviously not significantly longer, but obviously quite a bit thicker. and your grip as, you know, that 43. It's meant to be a, you know, EDC kind of gun, and this is not really an EDC gun. Not that it couldn't be used for that purpose if you really wanted to. Here's my Glock 19. Put it on top of it. Really similar to the 19. Looks like the 5.45 is a little wider. However, this is the 45, so that totally makes sense that it's a little wider. Compare it to the 34. So here's my full-size 34. 34 is longer than the 5.45. Comparable in length, grip, comparable in width. Now I'm going to tell you, this thing truly is a pleasure to shoot. I have had my 7-year-old son out here shooting some with me. Sorry about that, everybody. A little bit of a rain delay here. I had to relocate. Thunderstorm blew in on us. So anyway, what I was saying was, this thing is balanced so super well. My 7-year-old son has been shooting this thing some with me as I was working up the loads for this. But let me tell you something that I did not notice, just because I had I shot thousands and thousands of rounds worth of 9mm in my life. Probably quite a bit of 40, but not much 45 at all. So I was really unfamiliar with 45. And I am a hand loader, so usually for my 9mm in my hand loads, I'm shooting a 124 grain bullet. I use Vitavori, and I'm loading about 5.8 grains of Vitavori. Now for this, Vitavori also has a good load for it, seems like. So I'm shooting a 230 grain bullet out of the 45, and I'm only loading with 6.5 grains of Vitavori, so the same powder and less than a grain more. So I think any of the perceived recoil that you're really getting from the 45 is not necessarily because I know that cartridge looks so fat. Let me give you a comparison. The cartridge looks so fat compared to a 9mm. What a fatty. But there's not a significant amount of powder from the 45 to the 9mm. So I think a lot of that perceived recoil is just the fact that the bullet is a heck of a lot bigger. As I mentioned, I'm loading a 230 grain bullet in my 45, and I'm only loading a 124 grain bullet for my 9mm. 9mm, you can load less than that. I'm not sure what the bottom end for a 9 is, but you can certainly get down into the 115s or something like that. And then I know it's common for 45 to load less. I've got I think some 185s and some 165s for mine, but I went with 230 right now just for my target loads. But either way, this thing is a sweet, sweet shooting gun. I am so pleased with this, which is a good thing because, again, this is not a gun that was given to me to do a review on. This is a gun that I ended up buying when I decided I wanted a 45, and I'm pleasantly pleased with it. Now, it does come with one of these bags from FN. It normally doesn't have water drops all over it, but as I mentioned, we got caught out in the rain. You got interchangeable back straps. It comes with one extra that is just kind of a thinner version. I've got a bigger hand, so that one feels really good in my hand, but if you didn't want as big of a one, you could use the flat one. And like I mentioned, your 2 magazines, either your 210s for the California compliant version or the 15 and the 18, and it's a nice little case. Also in the case are the 4 different optic plates. Let's see, I've not mentioned it does have an empty chamber indicator. You've got your rail on the front if you want to mount some kind of optic on it. And I also want to show you guys the trigger. Let me talk to you a little bit about this trigger in this thing. Let's make sure we're safe. We are good. So when I first pulled this in the store, and you've got this, I guess this is the FN version of a trigger safety. I think Smith has something similar to that. But when I first pulled this trigger in the store, I was not a huge fan. It was almost, it's kind of like a Glock trigger, a factory Glock trigger. I hate those. I always replace those. But the more that I have shot this, and the more that I have just worked the trigger to try to get myself used to the wall, man, there's a very definitive wall. Right there, I hit it. So you can there's travel, but a very definitive wall. So once you get used to that, it's no big deal at all. I mean, watch this. I pull to the wall, boom. I'm to the wall. Now watch the reset. Nothing. So don't be fooled by the initial travel that you have in that trigger. Just take the travel out, and that's a really, there's no mush from that point. You hit a very definitive wall, and then it's got a nice crisp trigger break and a very short reset. So I won't be replacing the trigger in this. Really like it. Yeah, just busting through them now. This thing feels really good. I will have no problem slinging ammo downrange with this. It's balanced well. It looks so dang wicked. I like the trigger. Could you get a better trigger aftermarket? Absolutely, but I don't think it's necessary. So the FN 545 Tactical. I'm digging it quite a bit. Quite a bit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my gun review playlist. Got tons and tons of reviews. Check out all my other playlists too. Got hunts and tons of other stuff on the channel. Appreciate you. God bless you. We'll catch you next time.